Welcome to the Flying High Club in association with the World Aviation Festival, Lisbon 2025. This series in Lisbon is brought to you and powered by Swiper, the digital payment platform which works in managing disruption and airline compensation. Swiper is smart, seamless, and built for the future of air travel. You'll find more information in the link below and the comments section. Thank you to Swiper for supporting the Flying High Club at Lisbon 2025. Enjoy the episode. Welcome everyone to the Flying High Club podcast. We're here at the World Aviation Festival here in Lisbon 2025. We're delighted to be here doing a new segment, which is the Startup Spotlight. And we're really encouraging startups to come and talk to us and tell us more about what they're doing and practically how these solutions are helping not only passengers, but airlines and airports. So with that, I'm going to do a focus today on Air Sheriff. And Air Sheriff, we've got the president for North America, and we've also got Miami Airport here, Maurice. So, Gary, I'm going to start with you. Welcome, and tell us more about yourself firstly.
Thank you very much. As I say, I'm the president for Air Sheriff. I live in the US, been there for 13 years now. It's been a transition from England to the US, trust me, but it's been a transition because of work, and it's been fantastic. The US is certainly an innovative country, especially in the aviation critical infrastructure space, and that's helped me tremendously.
Perfect. And tell us more about the organization. What is the solution you provide?
So the solution is basically it's a wireless cyber assurance tool that does cyber security. So it basically picks up anything that emits a signal within a critical infrastructure and works out straight away, is that doing anything nefarious, or is it just your iPhone and you're walking through? It is. So it differentiates between all the signals, and the number of attacks wirelessly worldwide are now up to over 35%. So whilst everyone's got cameras, you've got to see what you can see. You can't see it if you've not got Air Sheriff solution.
Fantastic. So we're going to delve into that and understand that a bit more, particularly with recent events we've seen in airports, etc. So it'll be a great case study to talk about. But Maurice, from Miami Airport, talk to us. Tell us more about yourself.
I'm the former CIO, Chief Information Officer, running IT, telecom, infrastructure, cyber, etc. I'm the Chief Innovation and Customer Experience Officer for Miami Airport right now. So the goal and the intent is, how can I leverage technology? How can I leverage innovation within the airport space or within the airport ecosystem to bring about better efficiencies within the airport? As we realize that our industry is growing surmountedly, that we're moving 4 billion people throughout our ecosystem today, and that number is going to grow to almost 8 to 10 billion in the next 10, 15 years. How do you do that safely? How do you do it efficiently? How do you leverage the resources to help make that happen? And that's my charge and my challenge is, how can I be more innovative? And innovation is not just technology, it's also business process improvements. Right sizing and engaging in the organization to be open, to be transformational. So that's my charge. It's more of a challenge.
Yes.
It's very dynamic.
Yeah.
But I love the opportunity that it brings. And it gives me new reasons to not sleep well at night. So it's really fun.
Great. Well, we're going to talk about the things that keep us up at night, actually, and I think cybersecurity is one of those, for sure. But look, we're here at World Aviation Festival. Why? We'll start with you, Maurice. Why are events like this and conferences like this so important? And what should we be taking away from these?
Well, twofold. I mean, I have a vested interest. One, I'm on the advisory board for Terrapin. So we're looking at strategy, looking at what the event should look like. And I'm not sure if you heard yet, we are now, Miami International Airport is one of the key airport sponsors for the Aviation Festival of the Americas taking place in Miami next year. So that's that new relationship and the dichotomy that comes along with it. So the event is going to bring airports innovation, bringing the culture of innovation to an airport space, so we can actually realize, how can we synergistically, Aviation Festival, Terrapin, put that together with Miami International Airport and say, hey, what is missing in the industry? What can we work together towards bringing that value add?
Yeah.
Because you realize one thing, everything that you're seeing here at this event, we want to bring some of that to Miami. Will all of it work? Probably not. But we need to find out what will work to help transform, and the ideal optimal is transform our industry to be able to support the growth that's expected.
For sure.
Dealing with today's present environment.
Fantastic. And Gary, especially as a solution provider, what do festivals like this mean to you?
It's crucial to be seen in this marketplace. You know, there is so much innovation out there. You've got to put the extra mileage in, get on the plane, travel to where it is, to choose the events wisely. So here, there are so many new people that I can visit and talk to airports to speak to, airlines to speak to, that I wouldn't get the chance at sometimes in the US. So to me, it's crucial to visit these because it's the only way. I saw a tour before, which, by the way, if you're talking about this, I think it's crucial. They were they were not arguing with each other, but they had a totally different viewpoint of where the future's going. That to me is what you hear, and you don't get that at conferences. It's normally all, oh yeah, we're all happy with this. This guy, no, you are totally wrong. This is not going to work because. And I thought that's what we need. We need to be challenged
Yes.
in what the innovation is, and I think the thing is, can it do something that we need? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Great, we have a solution.
Well, one of the key themes when we've been talking to people here this week has actually been exactly that. You know, it's great. There are lots of ideas, but do they deliver in terms of cost, efficiency, safety? Do they serve a purpose for the industry? And I think that's really good. And that brings us into a really good segue here. You know, cybersecurity right now is a hot potato. You know, it's one of the very hot potato. Naturally, we've seen obviously the Collison Group in terms of what's happened with Berlin and Heathrow, and obviously we've seen what's happened in Munich as well. So for the none the wiser, how does cyber security, how's it impacted when it comes to airports, airlines? You know, talk us through that if you don't mind.
Start first.
Yeah.
So on this one, to me, I went to Washington and I saw the head of the CBP on the cyber side doing a talk, and he summed it up brilliantly. He said, we are being attacked every single day, millions of times a day. And he said, it only takes one of those attacks to get through to cause a disturbance and a disruption that can cost millions to the airport, put all these passengers out. So I want every tool in the box possible to stop that from happening. So, and that's crucial. We all look at cyber and, we all look at the basics of it. There are certain things outside of it, which is where we focus to say, this is a tool that no one's got, put it in your arsenal and it can help.
And I think we had Willie Walsh earlier, and he was talking about the fact that actually you can never be 100% protected. So actually what you're saying here in terms of your product is providing a tool that only enhances your arsenal.
Correct.
Great.
If you're only 98% protected, but with ours you're 99, then it improves it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just an extra layer and it averts it.
Yeah.
And please, speak to Maurice
So,
on that.
Maurice, in terms of cybersecurity, where is that on your agenda when it comes to Miami Airport?
Oh, it's key and critical. I mean, if you're looking at our airport operations today, as our airport is growing, we're about to embark upon a $9 billion U.S. modernization and action program. And with that, that's new innovation, that's new tech, that's new infrastructure, new resources, IoT sensors. We want to be more predictable. We want to be more so proactive in our airport ecosystem. So at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know, right? So we need to look at, are we capturing the right resources? Do we have the right tools? Now, are the tools viable? We don't know unless you put them into your ecosystem. And what great place to have, like an airport that you can actually test a product live. When you're moving 190,000 people a day, that you're traversing 100 plus airports, that you're doing construction and development at the same time. What does that disruption flow look like?
Yeah.
And how well do you optimize it? So it's like the best petri dish possible to see what works and what doesn't work. If you look at it from that perspective, so for us is, let's take all of that, let's drop it in, and let's check a box. All right, do you have a good level of cybersecurity and protection? The answer is yes. How good is it? Is it great? Maybe yes or maybe no. If we had an additional layer, how much more value and how much more comfort does it bring to the traveling public? And I give it to you this way, because we talk about wireless. If you opened up today and you saw World Aviation Festival 2025, that's the SSID to connect here. But if you saw another one that said 2025 with a dollar sign, it may be the same one, but maybe you just got spoofed. So now if you got in and say, well, guess what? If you were to go ahead and spend 20 pounds or 20 euros to have access to the Flying High Club unlimited for 1 year, would you pay for it? They're like, wow, unlimited Wi-Fi? Yeah, let me pay. You just got hired because you're just full. You're looking at tools to mitigate some of these items.
Yes.
Would you do it 100%? The answer is no. You should be evaluating how well you can recover. But your goal and the intent is to mitigate. If you were to be called on the carpet and say, what tools or resources have you used, what you have examined to help mitigate risk, you want to be able to say, I can check these boxes. But you say, well, we never really thought about it because Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi. Guys, you may want to think about that a little differently. Your entire ecosystem is subject, right? And have the opportunity to go ahead and cause disruption. Once you disrupt something in your ecosystem, it's either going to have a monetary value or it's going to have, well, like, look at that being economic value, but it's going to have a customer satisfaction value. So what does one negative comment on social media mean for you today in a digital platform, right? So you got to factor those things as well. So we look at everything in its entirety.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of the product,
Yes.
how does it? We've talked about the concept of how it works, but like I said, with a lot of these technologies and solutions, it's about the concept. What does this look like in reality, and have we got examples of?
Yeah, we certainly have. So
Yeah.
I'll start off with Miami. So it's been installed in Miami. We've done a long proof of concept there to prove what is available from it. And we can detect if something's being hacked. We can detect if a flight information display screen is being hacked. These are happening at other airports, by the way.
Yeah.
That don't have this. So we know, and we can stop it immediately that it happens. We can check if there's an open network, etc., etc. Well, this is happening 24/7 because Air Sheriff monitors it 24/7, and it monitors everything that's happening. The byproduct of it is that all that data, because we track your device, we don't know it's you, right? We do not know it's you. We just know that there's a device doing this, and it's doing nothing wrong. It's just okay. We then track these devices all the way around the airport, and as a byproduct, all that data is available to the airport, so they can then look at other methods of utilizing that data. Because Miami is one of the most advanced in the world of, and I think he'll add this. You just want as much data as possible, but useful data that you can look at and make good decisions from.
Right. It's all about good empirical decision making.
Yeah.
The more data you have, where you have a great relationship, we've done some things with Microsoft, started to open up a new tenant with them, and we're actually dropping and ingesting a lot of data from other disparate resources sitting out there.
Yeah.
And when you put that together holistically, you get a better
Yeah.
viewpoint and blueprint on your airport.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you've got threat detection, but alongside that is valuable data when it comes to the passenger flow, or where, and also what type of, like you said, what type of devices are interfering, or actually where are
just going through the airport.
Yeah.
So one of the byproducts at an airport, we found that the airport Wi-Fi got about 17,000 people subscribing to it. At the same time, the Wi-Fi at the chicken restaurant, I shall say, that just in the fire had 69,000. So all of a sudden the airport goes, hang on a second, that space in front of them is worth more because all these passengers are so there's all the benefits from it apart from the cyber assurance. And I use the word assurance because we watch the watchmen. They've got some great technology already.
Yeah.
We're watching for things that happen. So we are trying the doors, or we let them know the doors are being tried before someone tries the doors. That's how we look at it.
And again, going back to someone who's getting that solution, what level of confidence does something like that give you? That someone's actually checking the door or advising you that someone's tried to get in. How invaluable is that to an airport?
Well, it's an insurance factor. I ask you the same question is, would you buy car insurance on a brand new car? Yes, because it's brand new and has a warranty. But would you buy car insurance in case you got into an accident? Right. So you look at it. The more assurance that you can have in every facet of your operating ecosystem, the better it is for you. Right. So to me, is you can't put a value proposition. A value proposition on that is more so saying that I want to check all the boxes wherever I possibly can. Will they ever be 100%? I mean, guys, if anyone tells you they're 100%, that makes you wonder.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if I got to the point that I can actually layer that with some additional value add, then is it worth it? I would say the answer should be yes.
Yeah.
Or evaluate the tools within your environment. If there's no other tools out there doing that, then why not?
Yeah.
Right. You got to ask yourself that question: what does disruption cost you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then based upon that, let's factor that.
So that goes on to where I want to build next, right? Is how are you convincing the CFO that this is needed? These guys are provided, they can show you proof of concept. They're working with you to show it works. But as you say, how do you convince the importance of that 98 to 99% or 78% to 79% to bring it? Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. How do you, because that's the trouble. These guys are producing, they're investing.
May I speak first on that one? Thank you. So in the US, and you're aware of the Munich ones and all that here, in the US, there is a West Coast airport that has suffered a cyber attack.
Yes.
That West Coast airport is currently north of probably 30 million now it's cost it of that cyber attack. And they have said that at conferences, and they have said, so when someone says, can we just have an extra 1% on our cyber to pay for all this? Who's going to say no now?
Yeah.
Right. And they are the biggest advocate for solutions like us to say, please do not go through what we've gone through. And we're being attacked.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the solution that Air Sheriff offers is not just limited to airports. It's limited to critical infrastructure.
Yes.
We have it in a weapons manufacturer where we found listing device where they were creating the weapons. That's not good.
No.
Trust me, that's not good. So when things like that happen, I don't even want to go into, what could be happening now. So it's a solution. I'm fortunate that it's a solution that I know is very beneficial.
Yeah. So in terms of the Air Sheriff journey, where are you on that stage right now in terms of your vendors, your product? What's growth looking like? The story.
So we're in Taiwan, where we've got installation going into Sweden shortly. We're in 4 US airports. We're in a number. So we're growing, but it's only because of the likes of an airport that understands how important it is and is prepared to work with us. And we don't want to say partnership. To have an airport who's prepared to spend time saying, this is a problem, anything you can do? No, we can't, but we can do this. Great, thanks. So that's where we are. And we're on the growth value. And it's just going from space to space. Unfortunately, the three things that you just highlighted, which is Munich and others, is accelerating it.
Yeah.
So I say unfortunately because it's not nice when those things happen and it affects you.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we do have an airline who's looking at it because, when you get Wi-Fi on a plane, I don't think you should supply that, by the way. I think it's wrong. But apart from that, it needs to be secure.
Yeah.
Because those things cause problems.
No, it's a very interesting case itself. I mean, we're talking about airports and, the infrastructure. Almost look at it as natural infrastructure, right? Because you're connecting the city, the states, the country, as if you were. But actually, as you say, on boards, you're in a metal tube. That's what it is, aren't we? We're in a metal tube, and now Wi-Fi feels like the standard thing now. We had guests on earlier saying that, from a competitive perspective, we have to provide it, and actually, talking to you guys,
Listen,
nicest thing.
they need to make it safer.
Yes.
That's the first thing I'll say. I've come accustomed to it.
Yes.
So, it was not working on a flight. Recently, the guy in front of me was screaming, and I tapped him on the shoulder and said, "You're at 30,000 feet, mate. Things go wrong. Just calm down."
Yeah.
What's going on? Well, yeah, we have to protect it.
Okay. Great. And so look, I think what you're doing is fantastic. I think my point here is how do you scale? Because like you said, you've got proof of it working, and we've got advocate for it, and that airports don't come along and tell you what does work. That's normally the other way around. They're telling you what isn't working and what have you. You've got advocacy here.
I'll speak first,
yes.
and then Maurice will add this. I know because, in my view, we need to get into the three-letter agencies. We need to show them of the value of this, and that's going to take time because they are bombarded by so much new tech.
Yes.
But hopefully, with the likes of the airports that we got on board and Maurice and people like that, slowly we'll get in front of us. So my view is that's how we scale. But the other way we're doing it is we are offering a audit. So we will go to an airport and say we will do a 2 to 4 week audit of this space. It costs us less than an hour to set it up, and I'll give you a digital audit of what this is currently like in a book process. I guarantee, if we don't find anything, we're not going to charge it. Right there, you go. That's how much we know that they will have holes there.
Yeah.
So by offering the audit, I think that may help us get faster.
And that confidence and assurance is really important in your own product, and then that comes across as really, really, really valuable. I guess that's the picture you got, Maurice.
For me is, and I look at it from my perspective is, my goal is to bring value add to my airport for the traveling public, for my user base community, for the employees at the airport, and all of my internal customers. I want to make sure that every pilot that I do, everything that we examine has value, has a true value proposition, whether it does or not, right? Ultimately, that's what we're looking for. But my fiduciary responsibility at the end of the day is looking for products that I can trial in my airport. Let's evaluate it, all right? So it's not a solution looking for a problem. The problem, here's a solution, and there's some other things you could do with the solution. So the technology, it should not be a disparate one-off. And that we're seeing that there's an opportunity for not having a disparate one-off. You maybe can satisfy a myriad of other opportunity. Then let's explore it. And if it has additional intrinsic and extrinsic value, then how can we further exploit? And that's my charge and everything that I'm working on in my airport.
So, Sheriff, how can we find out more? If we have airports and airlines and industries that want to be in touch and understand more,
Please contact me. We will send out a short 2-minute video that explains it really well.
Yeah.
And then we will follow it up with them. So please, www.airsheriff.com or email me. Hopefully it'll be on the bottom of this.
Perfect. Yeah, well, we'll definitely put the contact details at the bottom of the episode for sure, so people can find that. I'm going to move off to a different tack now. I want to hear about your careers and what you've been doing. I'd love to hear, firstly, some advice because you're coming from that startup world, the founder world. You know, we have a lot of startups here. Tell us about some of the challenges you face and how you've overcome them.
Wow. So this is why this conference is a good conference. You've got a separate section which is allowing 50, 60 startups to show that, hey, we are here, and they've got a myriad of people coming by. And I think that's crucial to me because I've worked for the large corporations, worked for the large companies for a long time, and worked exceptionally well. But you take for granted that, you can do things in that when you become a startup, you're going, okay, so we've been going for over 3 years now. We've got, as I say, a number of installations, and it's only recently that we started to pick up. We've actually had people coming to us offering a bit of the old cash, which is nice, and we're going, we're okay at the moment. We know there's some.
It's a nice place to be.
It's a nice place to be. It's really, but because of people like Miami Airport who have taken not a risk, but said yes, we want to see if this will solve a problem. And, to have those and in different industries as well now. We've got one coming in banking as well soon. So that's great.
Fantastic.
That's mine.
And then kind of asking you, what would be your advice to startups? You've seen a model that's worked really well here. What would you, if I was to say to you, the 3 things you want them to focus on when they're coming to you?
Looking at the various verticals, whether it's an airport, and I said, given the volume of data that's within an airport, depending on the startup or what the technology is or what the process is or what the product is, come to an environment such as an airport and be willing to be able to engage in doing that proof of concept. I call it proof of values, and being able to develop that within the ecosystem of the airport. Use it as your benchmark barometer to make that determination. Is this viable? I've prepared a certain startup say, sounds great on paper, but if you don't have an optimal environment to test it in, when you have the pitch, you know, a score a little dish, in a closed environment, you know what the desired outcome might be.
Yes.
And therefore, there's too many variables to say, hey, my desired outcome may not be the desired outcome. Love to have the opportunity. Startups should reach out to entities like airports. It's like other business level opportunities and say, I want to be able to see if my technology or my business acumen works in your environment and see whether it's scalable and how well it can be adopted. And it should be a solution for an existing problem. It shouldn't be a solution looking for a problem.
Yes.
It should be a problem solved.
Yes.
Right? A scalable problem.
Yeah. Don't tell me about a problem I don't have.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got enough.
Solutions out there. I'm like, okay, what problem are you trying to fix with the solution?
Yeah.
Right? And then now we have to realize there's this new panacea that says everybody's an AI company. So all of a sudden, are you devaluing AI? Right? So it's all this facet. So let's find something that actually works.
Yeah.
Let's build upon that and then find the right environment to trial in it. But it should be scalable to other verticals. So if you're doing it in an airport, should work for an airline, should work for a concessionaire, should work in anything within entertainment, hospitality, healthcare. So basically now let's start to look and see where you fit. And to me, this is one of the ideal opportunities. Like everything is open and nothing was off for tape.
And you mentioned something then, and you say, as long as you can see something, then if you haven't got a problem, the challenge is they don't know it's happening.
Yeah.
You can't see the airwaves.
Yeah.
All these airports, and I don't know how many cameras roughly do Miami have?
Several thousand.
Yeah, exactly. Several thousand cameras. Fantastic.
Yes.
None of those can see what's happening.
They see, yeah.
To this. That's where Air Sheriff comes in. And you can tie the two together and they have that.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm conscious of time. I know you guys have got to get away as well. So I want to get a few snippets from you as individuals in terms of best advice you've ever been given.
Best advice I've ever been given.
Yeah.
Get up every time you knock down. It's something that the big dad said to me.
Yeah. Fantastic. Maurice?
Failure is not a failure. Failure is a success. Open, and I look at it to the facet to be open to challenges.
Yeah.
Always be open to challenges.
Great. I like that one. And if you were looking back, giving advice to your 25-year-old self, what would you say?
I'd say do exactly what you've done. I've been very fortunate in life. I've had people who believed in me when it was needed. I launched the very first mobile network in Africa, which was absolutely amazing, and that taught me a lot. No, I have just advisors, do what you did, which is believe in yourself. And I was a bit older than 25 when that happened, but yeah, believe in yourself. And I think as long as you're honest with people, that's the important thing. Don't try and hide anything. This is what we want to achieve.
Yeah.
Great.
Fantastic. Maurice?
One, buy Amazon stock. I wish I would have done that 20 copies. I think I will not be here right now.
Yeah.
I'll be creating and paying for startups. That would be great.
Yeah.
But at the age of 25, young up and comings,
Yeah.
seek mentors. Seriously, seek mentors.
Yeah.
I do.
No, that's really refreshing to hear from people who've with the experience and hopefully open to doing that as well. So fantastic. So look, we're coming to the landing of the podcast. So thank you so much. What I will leave you with is what I would like you to ask you both is if there's one thing you want viewers to take away from this conversation, what would that be? So Maurice, I'll start with you. If there's one thing you want people to take away from this conversation, what is that?
Get out of your comfort zone. Be open to challenges. Build relationships. Let's take those as the top 3 keys for success and for moving forward in this industry.
Perfect. And then Gary,
I'm
Sheriff.
slightly biased from the Air Sheriff viewpoint here. I guarantee you can't see what's going on in your environment unless you have a solution like Air Sheriff. As we know, we're still unique in this market. So I say like Air Sheriff. Without being able to see it, how can you put it right?
Perfect. Well, it's quite powerful when you put it like that, actually. So that brings us to the end of the podcast. I think a really fascinating conversation. I think it can come across that we're quite sad when we talk about things like cybersecurity and threats and make them sound interesting. But actually, when you see them coming to life, that's what this is about. Like we said, we see lots of tech providers, lots of solutions, but actually seeing something come to life. And personally, it's a privilege for us on the podcast to actually see that and witness that. And we wish you the very best. We'll put all the details in the comments below. As always, we want you to like, subscribe, and follow. You can find out more about Air Sheriff, and you can also find out about Miami and what's going on down there. And as I said, key host for the next World Aviation Festival. So you'll be seeing them down there. Much nicer weather, I hope, as well at the time. But thank you. That's us at the end. Keep flying high. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Swiper for supporting the Flying High Club at Lisbon 2025.